What's up, guys? Toxic here with another episode of Battle Bros. It's episode 5, where we talk about Tom Clancy's The Division. With me today is Seb.
Hello.
And Savage.
What's up?
So, Division came out, roughly two days ago? 3 days ago?
What's that?
About 3 days? Yeah.
3-4 days.
Yeah. Either
3
way,
days.
we can't tell. We've just been playing The Division the whole time, and it's all blurred together. So yeah, I'm sure, we all probably just want to go back and start playing The Division again. So, let's crack this one out and go back. But no, obviously, if you can't tell, we're pretty happy with it so far. So this is just kind of our first impressions video, kind of letting you know what we think of it and kind of what our hopes are for the future of the game, and maybe talk about what's going to be coming out. I think Savage and myself have probably put in 24 hours at this point, I would say, at least.
At least, yeah.
Seb, you got yours a day late.
Yeah, I've put in as much as I can. Yeah, with getting screwed by Amazon.
Yeah, so there you go, people. Don't buy on Amazon. If you want the game on the release day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been really fun so far. We've done some group stuff, some solo stuff. We've pretty much touched on everything the game has to offer, more or less, right now. We're level 20, Seb's in the teens. First impression, Seb, what do you kind of think so far?
I'm just absolutely loving it. It's just so much fun. I keep myself catching Sarah playing it from the corner of my eye there, and I was like, screw the video, I'm just watching the Division. It's beautiful, it's fun, and like I said before when we spoke about this briefly, we talked about the beta, like, I'm a complete convert. I was excited a long time ago, and then I was like, I don't care after it got pushed back so much, but I'm glad I do care, and and it's amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was one of those games that everyone, I'm pretty sure, just everyone was excited for when it, first was announced, and, oh, look what you can do, and, so amazing. And then it did get pushed back a little bit, and I myself, I was always kind of excited for it, but I did lower my expectations a lot. Savage, I know you're kind of in the same boat with me. We're always kind of excited for it, that it was going to be coming out, but we kind of had to lower our expectations going into it.
Yeah.
You didn't get to experience the beta, so this is your first kind of experience in the game. How are you finding it so far?
It's pretty damn amazing.
Yeah? You're not a big MMO fan, so how does that kind of work with the Division?
I don't know, just it doesn't have... it has the MMO feel, but it doesn't at the same time, because there's a lot of stuff that sort of distracts you from it.
Yeah, exactly. Though Seb was saying that, well, it's not really an MMO, and then I was like, well... It basically is, because MMOs nowadays can pretty much be anything, and they're no longer the old, you got a little bar of abilities, and you click through your abilities, and you stand in one spot, and your character just, auto-attacks. That's not really what an MMO is now, and they've kind of evolved into these action-based, games, and we're seeing it now in a third-person cover tactical shooter, MMO, and I think it's great. I think it fits it really well. I think you really forget that it is basically an MMO.
Completely distracts you from the fact that it's an MMO, and the fact that you just have the world to play in, and things. Obviously, there's missions and side quests and encounters and all that stuff, but there's just random enemies around. It's just a big sandbox of joy.
Yeah.
Which,
It's so many little things. Just little tiny things that you'll just stumble on. You're like, that's cool. It's nothing that's going to blow you away, but it's enough that you're like, that was really interesting. That was, I really enjoyed that part.
Some stuff's not so fun, though. It's still amazing, but I got really bummed out. So, obviously, we're in New York, and you get loads of pedestrians walking around saying things like, I'm walking here. Not because there's many cars, but I was walking on the road. This old lady just started stumbling down the road, and I'm like, I'm just walking next to her. And then she sort of fell on her knees. I'm like, oh, if I can help her. And then she just sort of rolled onto her back and started squirming, and then gave a horrible death rattle and died. And I was just stood there with my character okay, this is this is horrible. This is a real world. Stuff's happening.
Yeah, I think that's the thing I like about it the most is that it really does feel like a real world at times. Like it feels very realistic, and you're like, this could happen, and it's freaking me out. But at the same time, I love playing this game. Not to mention just all the characters are like just normal dudes, like like normal like guys and gals. Like no one feels like they're like a supermodel or some action hero. It's just people trying to get shit done, and I've enjoyed that about it. It's been really fun. Yeah,
It's a great concept, isn't it? Like all these sleeper cells that are just normal people until the world goes tits up.
yeah, yeah. Even the characters that you have to like the main characters and all that, seem really genuine. And I mean, let's talk about that. I guess is the story. Like Savage, how are you finding the story element to it? Because not being an MMO fan yourself, I'm assuming that the story was something that you'd probably be interested in coming into the game.
I mean, there's not. There is a story there that's. It's more like the overall story. I don't really notice too much. It's more like the story's going from like mission to mission, sort of thing. They've done really well. So I mean, like overall, with the story, I'm not quite following the whole overall thing, but it's kind of like piecing together throughout the missions.
Yeah, Seb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of it's just like the situation. Big disease happened, and now you've got to try and sort it out. And you're just building up your base operations and your understanding of what's been going on, and taking out particular targets that are causing problems. Like this, the story as the game progressed, as much as I've seen so far, isn't insanely groundbreaking. But the whole concept and the idea of the world and the characters that inhabit it are really fleshed out and quality. So I like that. They're also a lot of them are really grumpy, which is
Yeah.
good fun.
I feel like it's one of those ones that it sets up the world so well that you're playing in that the story is kind of what you make of it in a sense. Like it's the ideas that's going around in your head, and you can get immersed in it so much that it just everything is telling its own story. You walk down the street and you just see like little bits of detail and the dead bodies on the ground, and there'll be like mass graves on the side of the road and stuff, and you just look at it and you're just like, and you think in your head like, what happened here? Like, and you kind of go back to I wonder what happened, like when this was all going down, like when they decided to go ahead and do this, that part I just enjoy, like just walking around and you're just like, and like, or you walk into some apartment buildings and you go into one and it's like half of the building's painted red and the other half's painted yellow, and there's like paint supplies around, and you're like, man, these people were halfway through painting their house and then all this shit went down. And you're like, it's just like little things like that kind of tell a story as well. We've played a decent amount of the actual like main story, and I'm enjoying it. It is, yeah, like you said, it's nothing groundbreaking, but I am looking forward to each new mission because each mission doesn't tell you a lot. It's just like a little piece. Like we did one mission where you have to go find money that has the disease on it and stuff, and they give you like a video to watch, and you have to go to the apartment building of someone that might be involved in the outbreak, and it's very slow build up, but I still enjoy it.
I think that's why the story kind of works being an MMO as well, is that you know the basic gist of it, which fits what your character knows, and then as you're doing these missions, you're finding out more and more.
Yeah.
And it has that sort of MMO, also kind of Watch Dogs previously, that there's so many different sources of tiny bits of information that either tell stories of people before or during the outbreak, and you've got the echoes, so you can see little bits, and you see there's lots of audio clips. It's a really it's I don't know, it's just multimedia ways of just gleaning more and more about what's going on, and it's just kind of the same with it's a very Ubisoft thing to do. They like to really add so much depth to the world, but it's up to you whether you bother checking it out. Like, do you want to read about the Arc de Triomphe or whatever in Assassin's Creed or something? But yeah.
Now, I never got into it. Savage hasn't played it. Obviously, we're going to be referring to Destiny because everyone's going to refer this game to Destiny. Destiny also has a very shallow story. Seb, you've played the game. How would you, compare it? Not just the story itself, but also the little bits. Like we've talked a lot about how the Division has little bits of story and elements of the world itself telling a story. Comparing all that, how does that stack up to say a game like Destiny?
So the Destiny for the little bits is purely the crypt cards or cryptographic cards, whatever they're called. So you just unlock random things in the game, can't see them in the game, and have to go online to find out a little bit more. And I watched some videos. Doesn't seem like there's a huge amount more in Destiny other than the fact that could you be the bad guy? Who knows? But with this, there's the audio, video. You've got those weird echoes. You've got reports and things. That it's just so many different ways to layer it up that gives it so much more than Destiny. Yeah. And speaking about layers, just look like you were saying about the mass graves and the bodies and just like smash cars and pile ups. It feels so much more fleshed out and full, even the world itself, than something like Destiny.
Yeah,
Destiny had great gameplay, but it just didn't have the world.
I actually found something new today. It was crashed drones.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh yeah, I found them.
Didn't know about that. Found one. I was like, that's cool. There's a lot of stuff, and I don't really care about collectibles in games. I don't go through and try to collect them or get 100%. But I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it because I am enjoying like just looking around, and I do enjoy listening to the tapes, watching the found footage videos. I am enjoying that element. I'm thinking about it.
Them found footage videos are pretty fucking gnarly too.
Yeah, they're brutal.
I haven't seen any of those yet. I look forward to checking them out.
You should have them unlocked because you have done the missions where you get them. So
yeah, they're pretty brutal.
You saying that you had an emotional reaction to the lady dying. When we looked at these first videos, the first thing that Savage said to me was like, Seb's gonna cry. So we'll see what happens. When we're done with this video, we'll jump online and we'll get you to watch it and we'll see your reaction. But it's great. Another thing I like to kind of point out, and this is a downfall of basically every game, and it's like side quests. Like obviously side quests, never exciting really. And I can't think of a game in my mind that I'm like, that game had amazing side quests except for maybe like a Fallout or a Skyrim. Yeah.
When the side quests they're a level up, aren't they? They're fleshing out the rest of the main game.
Yeah. This side quest is more along the lines of like an Assassin's Creed kind of side quest, like just those ones that are there. Savage, how do you feel so far about like the side quests? I should say the encounters and I guess the side quests as well.
I like them. Like it doesn't add anything to the story in any way, like typically a side quest doesn't. But it just makes the world feel a lot more alive. Like, cause the encounters and stuff are usually like there's a supply drop that they're trying to take, like the rioters or whatever trying to take over, and then you come into like a firefight from like the JTF officers, and you help them out and shit.
Yeah, I know, Seb. One of the things you said from the beta is you felt that they were a little bit repetitive and typical to some of the side quests in Destiny. Are you still feeling that way, or?
The world feels so much more populated now that we're out of the beta, that it's definitely not as much of they don't seem as bland. There are some elements that are repetitive, like setting up the virus beacons and getting the antennas going, but that's something that does make sense, that would have to happen all over the city. So at least I like it makes sense. And where Savage mentioned the like supporting the JTF and coming to these conflicts, it feels awesome when you come into like a combat situation and it's not just a bunch of enemies that you're aggroing, they're already fighting someone else and you rush in. It like those ones are awesome. You feel like the world's like
Yeah.
actually got stuff going on.
Yeah, there's one, I don't know if you've come up against it yet, but there's one where there's actually like an arms deal going down, and there'll be
Oh
like
yeah,
Rikers, and yeah, and then they start fighting each other when you join in.
yeah.
The thing that I like about the side quests is that I enjoy just experiencing the world and like going around the map and exploring, and it never really feels like the areas you're in are copy pasted. You do notice obviously some assets that are reused, but the layouts of the side quests are usually pretty interesting. And I noticed a big jump going because we finished the whole left half of the map, and now we're moving on to the right. I've noticed an actually pretty big jump in the side quests. So, for example, we did one where we had to rescue some civilians. We did that. Then we had to secure another area, waves of defenders, and had to rescue another group of civilians. Again, you could say it's just artificially padding out that side quest with another objective, but it didn't feel that way because it was like we're up on one building, then we had to climb all the way down the building into this parking lot, take out the enemies in the parking lot, and go into another building. It's just things like that, and like when you climb up the side of a building, you're fighting along the rooftops, then you have to go into an apartment building, jump through the window, climb up, jump out another window, climb down a fire escape. It just feels fun, It's like it just feels interesting. You're not in just one big area. There's some, like, oh, a fight's gonna happen. There's some cover. There's some, there's some like waist high walls. We're gonna have to go into a fight. It doesn't feel like that.
They do well to have so many things around everywhere that are just naturally there that can be used for cover. Yeah, you don't have those walking down a completely empty road. Oh, look, there's a couple of roadblocks. I must use those for cover before the enemies come. Everything is just naturally around and just so dynamic.
Yeah, it feels very natural. Like like you're saying. And there's one thing that I said was the climbing. I really like the climbing, and we've done a couple missions where you don't fight anyone. It's just climbing. And it's like, I like that, because the game doesn't... It's not like, look over here, this is the thing you have to climb on, go climb it. We've actually been in situations where we've been like, how do we get there? And we've actually had to look around, and like there's one where I have to like jump through an apartment building, walk up the stairs, go across, jump out another apartment. And it's not obvious, the game doesn't like point it out to you. You just have to it just feels natural. And this could be a big step, but the last time I actually enjoyed a climbing element to a game was Assassin's Creed, when it was like, you can climb on everything, you can jump from roof to roof. Obviously you can't do that in The Division, but it still has that kind of element where it's like, things aren't super noticeable, and you're just like, I wonder if I can climb on that. Like the mission we did last night, when Savage and I first did that, when you go to those toll booth things, and there's like a truck or a bus or whatever parked halfway in it, and we're like, I wonder if we can get up to where those snipers were by climbing up the front of the truck and then jumping from the truck onto the toll booth. It was like, that was really cool. Like, the game didn't point it out to us. We had to use our own brains and like creativity and figure out a way to get up there, and it just felt nice and natural. So
but that's one thing that I didn't think they were going to deliver, that they kept talking about, like in the videos leading up to the release, like that you could take on a situation however you want and it would feel unique to like the loadout of your character or how you wanted to take it. But that is completely a thing. Like if you want to run in with shotguns and take a direct route, or like we're constantly talking to each other in our party and being like, right, you cover us, like lay down suppressing fire so we can flank round. You can take it on however you want and make it a full-on team exercise, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's what really excites me about moving into our next topic, the incursions that are going to be coming out, basically the dungeons or the strikes or whatever they were in Destiny. Savage, we kind of just did some party stuff last night. Did that make you excited for these incursions that are going to be coming out, where you have to work as a team and fight a pretty hard enemy?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it definitely the game has that old Ghost Recon kind of feel as well, where if you're not behind cover, usually like using proper tactics, it's a very unforgiving game. Like, you can't just run in there and go all guns blazing. So it definitely has like a team element to that game.
Yeah,
like, it benefits from a team element.
Yeah, there's definitely moments where you can go in guns blazing, but it's like you have to know, like, I can do that much damage before I die. It's like, I can go in, and I can do that, get the kill, if I fail, if I misjudge, I'm dead.
Yeah, good job. Seb has been replaced with Seb getting cover for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Exactly. We're in cover shooting, and Seb's like about 2 feet away from a guy with a flamethrower, just covered in like fire.
Doing jumping jacks.
Yeah. I think though, like since that mission lasted us about an hour and a half, like I think by the end of it, you definitely were like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I gotta get in cover. I can't just like go guns blazing. And that's one thing that has annoyed me personally about what I've seen on other people playing the game. No, but like I've seen people that have been playing the game, that've been dying, and they're like, well, you know, this is dumb, blah blah blah. And it's like, well, you're not playing the game in the way it's intended. It's a cover-based shooter. You know, you should be using the cover mechanics. If you're not using it, that's why you're dying. You know, it's like you can't criticize a game for if you're not playing it properly. I mean, maybe you don't like cover-based shooters, so it's probably just not the game for you. But yeah,
Like going back to what Savage was saying about like how the cover based on tactics. Like I was worried if it was going to deserve the Tom Clancy thing, or they were just slapping that on as because obviously he's been dead for a while now. But this game's been dead for a long time. But it clearly has that Tom Clancy Rainbow Sixy kind of tactical mentality.
it even has like a Tom Clancy story on, like it feels like a book. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've said this multiple times. I'm like, I would read this book. You know, like it feels like you're in like a Tom Clancy world. Definitely a Tom Clancy game. Savage, you've probably played more Tom Clancy games than any of us.
Yeah.
How do you feel on that topic?
It definitely does have like the Tom Clancy storyline. I played through majority of the Splinter Cells and like all the old Ghost Recon games and stuff. It definitely has like the Splinter Cell epicness of the story of like figuring out what the hell's going on, and it has like the action of like a Ghost Recon sort of game.
Yeah.
Digging it.
Definitely stands out well. I think overall that's kind of where we're at right now. We're definitely all excited for the end game. I think that's still the big worry for a lot of people is what are we going to do once we get to level 30? Personally, once I get to level 30, if I just stop playing the game, I would still have my money worth, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
We've nearly put in, we have to put in at least 24 hours, because it was 15 hours, like 2 days ago. So, you know,
Yeah.
so I definitely feel like I will have put in my money once I get to 30, and then anything over that is like gravy. I'm excited for endgame content. You know, I guess we have to just wait for April, but when the incursions come out. So I think that's still the big worry for a lot of people is the endgame content. But, I mean, I wasn't big into Destiny, but I hear that Destiny got a lot better once they started releasing more content updates to it.
I have a feeling they won't necessarily be like an end game until like the last DLC comes out. Pretty sure that one's actually called Endgame, isn't it?
No, that it's Last Stand.
Last
Endgame
Stand.
was, I think, a Battlefield expansion. Well, I mean, when I say maintenance of Endgame, it's like a term used for like MMOs,
once you
with,
get to
like dungeons and stuff. So if they're not doing it until the last expansion, then that's like definitely a bad thing, because that's going to be like towards the end of the year. Like it needs to come out soon, and it is. It's coming out in April. Next month they're going to be introducing the incursions, which from what they look like is the end game where you go up against a very hard enemy and you got to do it in a group, and that's where you get your best gear from. That's what it sounds like to me, because they're going to be then releasing more incursions with the main expansions.
Because these incursions are a free update, right? And then there'll be more proper DLC, adding more stuff later.
Yeah.
I think it's 3 paid DLCs and 3 free updates, isn't it?
Yeah, three DLCs that you have to pay for if you have the season pass: Underground, Survival, and Last Stand. Just really amazing names.
Is Magneto going to lift up a bridge in the Last Stand?
And then you got the. They did actually give the incursion one a name. I don't remember what it was, but incursion's in April, and then there's another one after that, which will have another incursion and also an update for the Dark Zone. They said like another way to play the Dark Zone.
Okay.
It seems like what they've been saying is that there's going to be different game modes. So that'll be interesting. Like I said, I told you guys yesterday, I kind of hope there'll be something like the Crucible, because actually that's pretty much all I did when I played Destiny. It was just the Crucible. So,
Or even we were saying about like GTA style missions.
yeah.
Like,
I was thinking when you said Crucible at first, I was thinking Fable.
Gee, that's going back.
Yeah.
But you mean like GTA missions in a sense of if you're in the Dark Zone and then all of a sudden there's like a random world event kind of thing, or
what events, but also like team.
yeah,
like
team on
those,
team missions. And
Yeah,
stuff?
team on team.
Yeah.
So you had like things in back alleys on rooftops and stuff that could really work for this.
Yeah, like
Obviously, you've got the PvP in the Dark Zone though.
like one team plays a group of renegade division agents, and one group plays like a good group. You know,
Yeah.
like one's trying to do something bad, the other trying to do something good. That would be fun, and also would be kind of cool if you're in the Dark Zone, and then all of a sudden, like in GTA, they have those random world events take place, and then you go and gather in a location, and you know do something in there.
That was one of the more exciting things about Destiny.
Yeah, yeah, that could be cool if like you're in the Dark Zone, and all of a sudden like a random boss spawns, and you need everyone in the Dark Zone to group up to take it down. That would be kind of interesting to see. It's really just an exciting point in the game. That what could come out.
We should talk a bit more about the Dark Zone because that just ramps up the kind of excitement and tension, I think.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk about the Dark Zone. Then I think we've pretty much covered everything. Yeah. But yeah, Dark Zone. I'll throw it over to Seb first, just because you've probably played the least amount of Dark Zone. So, what are your kind of thoughts on it?
So in the story, it's a much more infected part of the city that's been locked off. So much harder enemies, and just generally everyone else can be in there. It's just madness. Like the level of difficulty, I was quite low level and went in. It is quite high, but it just makes that more exciting. But the real thing is once you've got your gear, having to try and get it off in the helicopter and just waiting that minute and a half with everybody just shitting themselves. It's just really exciting. And then you finally put your hand on the helicopter and then get an axe to the back of the head. Good times.
Yeah, Savage, me and you have played quite a lot of the Dark Zone. What are your thoughts on that?
I really like it. It is like the PvP sort of area, I guess, but it's not at the same time. It's
Yeah, definitely.
more of a PvE, but if you want to be a jerk and kill someone, you can.
Yeah.
Sort of area. But no, I like it. I like that you can't kind of trust the other agents that are around you, and you don't know if they trust you or not. So it's very, like if you rock up to an extraction zone and someone else is already there, it's kind of like, how do you, because usually we're in like our own separate voice chat, so we're not in the game chat, so how do you come across as being friendly without being able to use words, sort of thing.
Saluting and jumping jacks mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shooting them in the face.
Yeah, I agree definitely with everything you've said. The Dark Zone's great. A couple of negatives about it, and I feel like could have been fixed before the game even got released. Dark Zone was great when we first went in it, like around the rank 10 part, because we just started getting access to the rank 10 chests. They had rank 10 items that we could use, and then as soon as we got to kind of the rank 15, it's like all of a sudden no items there for us. It's all rank 30 to go to the Dark Zone vendors is what I'm talking about. And then all the chests are like rank 30, and it's like, are you kidding me? I'm in a rank like I'm in a level 1 to 9 or 1 to 14 or whatever area. Why is there only, it goes from rank 10 chest to rank 30? Where's the middle ground? Put in a rank 15 chest, put in a rank 20 chest, a rank 25. Put in some middle ground, because otherwise there's not really much point of getting the chests. And you can say like, well, you can still get gear from killing enemies and stuff, and that is true, but it's just a mentality thing of walking around seeing a chest and being like, no, you can't access it. It's like a mentality of like, well, it's locked off to me, and it is a grind to get that Dark Zone rank up. If it was something in the middle, it would feel less like a grind because you're always getting something. So the gap between unlocking things would be a lot smaller, so the grind would feel less. But right now, with like rank 16, 17, I think, in the Dark Zone, and we have to get to 30 before we can unlock any new chests or buy any new Dark Zone equipment.
That's a weird jump. That really is a weird jump.
And that's the thing that actually annoyed me the most is the Dark Zone vendors, because we actually were we did a lot of stuff to get the Dark Zone vendor equipment, and then all of a sudden, now we can't find anything that's lower than rank 30.
Yeah, do we say that there's 2 separate ranking systems?
Yeah,
like
you have your Dark Zone rank and then your actual level. Dark Zone rank is you have level cap Dark Zone, rank cap Dark Zone items, which seem to be more abundant when you're a lower level, and then as soon as you get to, I don't know what point it was, but all of a sudden now we can only find rank 30 stuff, and it sucks.
I think it's like around the 11 to 12 Dark Zone rank.
Yeah, it really does suck because it's kind of put us off going into the Dark Zone, because there's really nothing we can gain from that. We can gain more stuff now by just doing story missions, doing side missions, and then selling gear to buy the purples and buy the blues from the vendors, and that's good enough. And it just kind of it's putting ourselves going into the Dark Zone, because we know that as soon as we go in there, we're basically just trying to grind up that Dark Zone rank. So it's a little unfortunate, and that's the only negative side. I can definitely see there being fun in the Dark Zone, and I don't know what it's going to be like at level 30. Like, how good is that gear going to be that you're going to want to go into the Dark Zone? So it'll be interesting. And Dark Zone's still fun. I could still just see myself going in there just for fun.
Some team missions.
We still go in there. We spent like an hour and a half in there the other day.
Yeah,
just wandering around.
It just lost like the initial, kind of feel to it, because we knew that we're not going to get anything out of it. It's like before, when we were trying to get those Dark Zone guns and stuff, we're like, okay, let's find enemies so we can kill them and get our Dark Zone credits and stuff. And it's like now it's like, well, I can get as many Dark Zone credits as I want. I'm not going to be able to use it until I'm Dark Zone rank 30, and it does kind of that rank does slow down. It's one thing I am wondering though. Maybe I'm not 100% sure. I'm just kind of throwing something out there. Maybe it slows down when it gets closer to your level. So maybe if we go in there now, because we've leveled up a lot more, maybe the Dark Zone rank will go up faster if we're like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a way to keep your 2 ranks and levels like, closer together. Maybe, I don't know. Just
because you get normal XP while you're in there as well. You only get Dark Zone XP.
Only Dark Zone money, only Dark Zone XP.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting system, and I'm happy that it paid off, like, because, the way that it has.
And, like, there are trolls and things do happen in there, but you don't... It's quite cool that you don't have to do it, other than the mission that just sort of says, haha, there's the Dark Zone, do it if you want.
Yeah.
If you don't want to get involved with other people or take the risk, you don't have to, and you can play the full game.
Yeah, that's one thing that actually kind of excites me. As long as the servers are still up, you could pick this game up, a year or 2 from now, and play it no problem. You could play it as a single-player game if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, you could strictly, like, pick it up as... And in that sense, it kind of would feel less like an MMO, more like an old-school RPG, in a sense. Like, Tom Clancy RPG?
Yeah.
Like, you could definitely do that. You could go in 2-3 years down the track, as long as they still have the servers up, and have fun with it, and still get your money's worth. Even if no one else was playing that game and it was just you. Like, you can still... You could still even get the Dark Zone stuff. Like, you could still go into the Dark Zone and do things.
I'd be interested to see where they take it after, like, all the DLC as well.
Yeah, like, what's
it's like
2 gonna be?
Yeah, because, like, generally when an MMO comes out, it's around for, like, a fair while and goes through a lot of updates. But being on, like, console as well, like, whether they can update it to an extent after a couple years.
Yeah.
Or whether they'll just have to bring out, like, another... like a Division 2 sort of thing.
So I'm waiting for the Division 3 when they've actually cured of the disease, and you're just simulating a New Yorker's life. Remember, you're driving a taxi for the entire
Well,
game.
here's one thing that I mentioned. It's like we can get these healing abilities where we throw down a piece of healing equipment, stand by it, and it heals us from gunshot wounds. Or we can, shoot something onto the ground next to our teammates and heal them from a gunshot wound. But we can't cure this virus? Yeah.
It's because it's all a conspiracy. We work for the government. The government
it's our fault. We're the bad guys.
It was an inside job.
Last thing before we wrap up and we go play the Division, I guess we'll just go around and be like, how would you recommend this? Would you recommend this? Would you recommend this for everyone? Who would you recommend it to? Seb, you want to start us off?
I'd wholeheartedly recommend it. Full on convert. As long as you like third person shooting. I remember that it's third person, not first person in this video. And you like doing cover stuff. It's a beautiful world. Get into it. If you don't have the patience and skill to keep within cover and taking shots, it might not be for you, but don't let the MMO aspect put you off if you like third-person shooters, because you will love this.
Yeah, Savage.
Don't get it, because you're going to clog up the servers and then we're not going to play.
Yeah, we don't want to see you in the dark zone. More loot for us, don't get it.
Yeah. No, definitely just agreeing with Seb. Like, it does follow like third-person cover-based shooter fairly well. So if you're into that sort of gameplay style, like the MMO aspect is there, but when you're playing the game, it's more of like a background.
Yeah.
Like in the background of the game. So, yeah, if you're into that sort of stuff, definitely pick it up because it is an amazing game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree as well. If you're into third-person shooters, if you're into Tom Clancy games, it's a no-brainer. When you're in the action, you just forget like it has MMO elements. The MMO elements only come in on the downtime, and it's honestly a good thing because it gives you something to do, like kind of between missions and kind of a cooldown. There's a lot of the stuff that you can do in the game. If you get bored shooting, you go craft, go explore, look for crafting items. I would recommend this even for people that like MMOs. That's why I was looking forward to the game, honestly, because I was looking for an MMO to kind of fill my time, just something to kind of sit away, kind of grind at, and it fills that void for me. I would recommend it for a lot of people. It's just going with a little bit of an open mind. I know a lot of people that were very much into Destiny are also having a lot of fun in this game, and I think you can definitely have a lot of fun, in this game as well. Don't try to compare it too much because they are separate games, and I think you'll enjoy it more if you don't try to compare the two and think which one's better, and just enjoy them both for what they are.
Just play the game and let it kind of just wash over you in the way that it does.
Yeah. There's nothing really too bad I can say about this game. I'm sure there are some negative things that we're overlooking because we are so infatuated with the game right now. I'm sure there are some bad things.
I've one actually, just thought of it. Sometimes trying to look at yourself when you're putting on your new appearance items, you get completely obscured.
Yeah. That does happen, yeah. There's a few negative things I've heard about, and a lot of people don't like how when you're out by yourself, you don't run into other players going on their missions, and you can't randomly help and stuff like that. But in my opinion, I don't like it because I don't want to see other people running out there. That's a lot of the MMO people say I like feeling like the hero. I don't want to go out there and see 100 people doing the same mission.
Yeah, it does feel weird when you're like at the beginning of Elder Scrolls, for instance, when you're escaping from this world and you're the hero, but there's just hundreds of people just escaping with you.
So I like that myself, but a lot of Destiny people I've talked to are saying I don't like that because I guess in Destiny, when you're out doing your missions and stuff, you can help. I don't know. I don't play Destiny.
You can just jump into each other's games though, sweetly. Sorry.
Yeah, I do like it though that there's no one else around. It does give you especially when you're playing by yourself, it gives you a real sense of loneliness. Yeah. There aren't that because there's not that many people left in New York because the majority of them are dead or got out. Especially I was playing the other day by myself and went into the dark zone and there's no civilians in there at all, just ambient sounds of gunshots and stuff. And it is a pretty terrifying moment when you come across like a bunch of fucking dudes and you're all there by yourself.
It keeps that immersion. Like if you're in there, you're in the world, you're walking around, you have this immersion build up. It's a little bit, it breaks the immersion when you just see like a whole bunch of people just running around, just dicking about, So I like it. But yeah, I going back to like our point there, pick it up. It's definitely not for everyone, but I think if you just go into it with an open mind, enjoy it for what it is. Basically, a third-person cover-based shooter with some RPG elements, more or less. I mean, take out the MMO because it is a massive multiplayer online game, but you don't really see a lot of other people.
And it's important that you said it's on the downtime. You literally don't have to do any MMO stuff at all to progress the game.
I think it would also be a decent game for people that enjoy games like Borderlands, Diablo, where it's all about the loot, because you get a lot of loot. So if you enjoy going around and killing stuff and getting loot, also a good game for you. So, any final words before we head off?
Yeah.
No, let's hurry up and go. Quick.
Yeah, go back.
Okay, so once again, this is for allysindex.com. Check out allysindex.com for more geeky gaming goodness. With me today was Seb.
Talibar.
And Savage.
Talibar.
I'm Toxic, and once again, as always, my name is Toxic. Have a good one.
Hurry up!
You can go now. You can go play the Division.